Join us on the Swim Monkey.
Swim Monkey TV. On the Monkey.
Off the blocks into a 2-day practice. Butterfly kicks and the hardest sport there is. Racing starts and don't breathe off the wall. If you want to make it to Olympic team at all. Flip, turn, streamline, Florida swimming. Under the flags and dry land training. Long course season and Caleb Dressel. Short course season, Elizabeth Beisel. Tune in now to the Swimmer Joe Show.
Welcome to another Coach's Happy Hour, and this is open mic night, you guys. But listen, we've got our awesome guys on here. We got Sid Cassidy. How you doing, Sid?
Hey, I'm doing great, Joe. Fresh out of the Atlantic Ocean, still doing beach practices, moved them to the afternoon. Life is good in South Florida. We're moving forward.
Awesome. Mark, how you doing down there?
Awesome. Doing great here in the Springs. We've been battling smoke from all the wildfires in Colorado and California. It seems like all the smoke ends up over the top of us, at least on its way eastward. So that's been a little different for the last 10 days or so. But other than that, life's good.
So it's funny. We were going through that entry, and you saw Caleb Dressel there. Look how small he looked compared to today. And he was that fast in 2016 with that scrawny body. And now he's huge.
You know, I saw Jason post something on the internet today. Did you see it, Mark? I mean, you know, it was like 7 years ago. Caleb Dressel split 48.29 or 39 on the relay. Forget Rio. He's ready now. That was 7 years ago today. So what meet was that?
I didn't see that.
7 years ago today.
That was Junior Pan Pacs or something.
Yeah. It was he was anchoring a USA team.
Yeah, Junior Pan Pacs. Remember when he went 48.7 on the individual or something, and he took it out so fast, and then he was dying, but he still like destroyed everybody.
Well,
I think that's when it happened.
That might have been Junior Worlds, maybe.
Junior Worlds, maybe it was Junior Worlds.
Junior Worlds, yeah, 13. Hey, but you know, Scott's got questions already. Should we get right into them, Joe? You want to tell us anything else about the world these days? You know?
No, there's a few things, and I know that this is totally off base, and I don't know what you guys think about this, but I read something this morning that there are 50 more planets they just found. Now, this is totally unrelated to swimming, but there's 50 more planets out there that we didn't know about. And they just found them. NASA's like, hey, 50 more planets.
In our solar system? In 50?
50. Bess, am I right? Astronaut Joe. 50 more. And I'm sure Bess will try
How many do they think might have life on them? Did they do that? Because I remember last time I heard there was only like one or two that they thought were the right balance of where they are to their star and stuff like that.
I don't know, but I'm sure that Bess will try to find that link for us. Who knows? But that was amazing. I know that you guys didn't see that, but anyway, we are here tonight to talk about anything, and anyone can come on. We put the link in the chat on all the different forums, so you guys can come on, ask your question, ask the panel here. Sid, been coaching forever, knows a ton of stuff about peanut. Mark, of course, been coaching forever. He's got a back door into the USA Swimming. So we have so many things here, so many people here that we can talk to. And I'll just give you some BS answer. So, we got a lot of stuff
I'll tell you what I did today. I had a great conversation with the director of USA Swimming's Open Water, Bryce Elzer. And Mark, you know him well. And Bryce has done a great job for the last decade out there for us. He came off the beach. He was a beach lifeguard in California with a swimming background, and he's turned into a great director for us. So anyway, I got some interesting ideas and concepts. Those guys are moving forward. There's some great stuff coming out. There's a really cool coaches. And I think anybody can still sign up for it. There's a cool seminar tomorrow afternoon with some Olympians, some coaches.
Friday. I think it's Friday.
So go to the USA Swimming site, sign up for, the open water. There's so many teams doing open water this summer, more, I would say, than ever before in USA Swimming history. At least Maybe back in the AAU days before we had pools, maybe. But, it's a good time. It's a good time.
Speaking of open water, what historic event happened today about 8 gajillion years ago in 1875? It's a question.
Wasn't it yesterday or today? Matthew Webb swam the English Channel.
English Channel, yeah.
Maybe it was yesterday. So there you go.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. That's my sign, because it was falling down. I said, "Oh, you're correct, Joe. 1875. That's the year. That's the year it all came down." And now it was like 30 years later. Now, who was the first woman to swim? Do you remember?
Elderly. Gertrude.
Gertrude Ederle.
He was the fastest. She blew his record away by over 2 hours.
That doesn't seem like blowing it away when you got to go across a huge channel there.
2 hour drive.
It's amazing. It's amazing. All right, so let's get on to with what we're doing here. Scott Wise, basically, guys, if you want to ask a question, come on and ask. You can either ask it in the chat and we'll ask the panel, or you can come on live with us and ask us live, and we'll go around, or we can shoot around a few ideas here and there. We did this a month ago, and it was great. People loved it. If it gets crowded, just keep trying, and we'll get you on. So first thing, Scott Wise gave us a question. The cancellation of collegiate swim and dive programs. Okay, that's just number one. Let's talk about that one really quickly. So we just lost Iowa this week. What I've been telling people is we will probably lose 10 or 15 more. And it's sad to say, but you know what? If it continues the way that it's going, I'm thinking we're going to lose 10 or 15 more. And I don't know, maybe SEC, maybe ACC, maybe Big Ten and others. What do you guys think? Sid, what the heck do you think?
Dude, buddy. Sid, you're muted.
Can't hear you. But you know what? Sometimes it's good when Sid is muted, but we need to unmute Sid.
I'm muting because I got garage bar issues. But listen, I would never be the negative Nancy and go, "Oh, we're going to lose 10 or 15 more. Oh, we can lose." I'm not negative. I'm a positive dude. But I mean, the reality is, we lose one more, it's too many. So, Mark, what is? the pulse of USA Swimming. What's the mothership say about all this stuff?
I haven't talked to Joel or to Greg Earhart from the College Swim Coaches Association this week, but I know Greg's been working hard. He sent a pretty nasty letter to the director of athletics and I think the president of Dartmouth when they announced they were dropping their program. It's something to be concerned about. Hard to know what direction things are going to go, right? And I don't want to be the doom and gloom guy saying we're going to lose 10 more programs, 5 more programs, but you look at the amount of revenue these athletic departments are losing because of no football, and heaven forbid we lose another college basketball tournament.
How about
for more of the colleges, the basketball is the important thing, because unless you're in that Power 5 in football, right, a lot of those schools are funding their athletic programs through basketball. So I think colleges have a responsibility to find a different way to fund themselves, right? And college teams have a responsibility, and alumni do. And I think we got to take action, right? I see all these things, sign the petition, and I forget which coach posted on the Facebook exchange, you can sign all the petitions you want. Nobody's reading them. We've got to take action, whether it's a direct communication to somebody at that athletic department or the alumni taking action.
Joe, let me throw this out, Mark. See what you think about this idea, because I've been mulling it about. And let's say, throw it 5 years in the future. All the NCAA swim teams are gone. Forget saving any of them. They're all gone. Now they become club teams, professional club teams representing their alumni group. within the university pools, and they're part of USA Swimming, but kind of like an ISL league just for guys who are matriculating. And we have our own rules. Forget the NCAA. We don't need them. We could create our own professional swimming league. Have USA Swimming, have it be a part.
Sure.
We can gamble on it to make money. We gamble, we make money. That's where we're going.
I love the gamble. I love the gamble part. You know, Greg Troy, and this is the guy must, you know, what do they call it when you see in the future? I mean, two or three years ago, I remember sitting with him and goes, you know, Joe, and you probably have all talked about this in your meetings, but you know, Joe, I think that we're not going to have college swimming much longer. Maybe 5 years. I'm like, oh my gosh, now look at this. Look what's going on. I mean, how did he know? How did he know that was going on? He said it's all going to be club and intramural. I'm like, oh my God, how?
But anyways, we can take advantage of those collegiate programs with tradition. 103 years at Iowa. My good Lord. Who is thinking that this is a good idea? With the pool they have, hosting NCAAs, I mean, there's a way to make money up there. There's smart people up there. Iowa's got great swimming tradition. And you're right. I love what Mark said. Forget signing a petition. You know, get out there and make some action.
You think about it, Sid. I mean, Iowa, 105 years. I mean, we still don't have men's swimming at UCLA. I mean, that still blows me away. And that was 30 years ago, right? Or 25 years ago.
Different world, different, you know, the pack, you know, I get it. I know. But in Iowa, swimming, okay, they invented butterfly, or at least they so claim. I always heard Jack Nelson said he invented it, but I don't know who really invented it.
I've heard that. I've heard Jack say that too. That's funny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Madsen said, oh, yeah, Jack claims everything. Oh, he invented everything. Okay, so I did see, and I didn't mean to blow off these questions early. Gambling sounds ridiculous, but it's going to make money. See, if you look at college sports, if we become all club teams and make them pro leagues, why not? You know, can you imagine the kind of money you can generate?
Hey, and I hate to say it, but people gamble on all college sports anyway. A lot. No. So, I mean, it happens. I'm really upset about the losing college swimming, though, which brings me to this. So I saw it on Twitter or somewhere today where someone wrote, gosh, they're losing their programs after just 3 or 4 months of COVID. So what does that mean? Does that mean that the sports programs were broke? Or they can only last one or 2 months? Or is this something that happened 3 or 4 years ago? You know, what can they not do a budget? Can college programs not do a budget? What the heck?
I don't know. If my buddy Don Spellman's looking in, listening, he's got his own talks about Iowa, and he believes it was an administrative, and they kind of been planning. And there's people out there that are saying a lot of these schools are going to use COVID as their cover. You know, because they wanted to get rid of swimming and they wanted to cut back and they look into ways to, you know, and that's fine. And I do think, but I think there's enough of a tradition and enough of an alumni base that even if we're not NCAA championships, we can have a school affiliated league, and these guys can still, the alums can pay their way to go to Harvard, you know, and then the Harvard guys can bet the Yale guys on the meet. They're all sitting up there. I mean, you know, there's a way we can keep it going. We just need fresh new minds thinking about it. If the kids want to study in college and they want to train while they're doing that, and we have programs and coaches that want to be there for them, we've got all these great facilities in this tradition. There's a way we can make it work.
So I think it's going to look a lot different in 5 years.
Yeah.
Unless something changes in the way colleges approach athletics and the way they fund their programs. I mean, if they're still going to pay football coaches $10 million a year, whatever those guys are making, that's not sustainable, right?
Yeah.
Not for an institution of higher learning.
Florida Swim Network. You just can't pay him. It's $2, $4, $5 million a year now. We got to get him. He started his own flex company, you know.
So Ryan Rosenbaum is with us. Okay, South Florida swimmer, goes to UF. Studley swimmer at UF. Starts flex with some boys. Does Florida Swim Network. Awesome. Also, guess what? Aren't you a world record holder as well in master swimming? Or what?
I am, yes. Yes.
This guy is unbelievable, and he apparently has a question or a beef or an issue. Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely. I mean, at this point, it's definitely a beef.
Okay.
And I'm not really trying to come into the whole landscape trying to start some drama, but it's weird times, right? People are not really trusting in their governing bodies a ton, right? You can look all the way from the top and keep going down. We have issues, particularly in swimming, and which is really interesting that you guys are talking about collegiate swimming, because that's definitely a big concern that I feel like a lot of people aren't talking about. But so from my personal experience, I can only really talk to masters swimming right now, mainly because I've been involved in it since I left college swimming at first. So I swam for 3 years under Coach Troy. I did not want to do my last year. Everybody knows the old school grind of Florida, and I felt that I was ready to just enjoy life. And then 3 months later, I found myself at a master's practice at Swim Fort Lauderdale under Marty Hendricks. And immediately I was like, whoa, this is awesome. I can enjoy swimming, enjoy training, enjoy competing, but also not have kind of like that overarching pressure of what collegiate sports is, which is that you're not paid to at first, but you're more or less a professional athlete, and there's a lot of stakes on the line. So master swimming really drew my attention. And ever since then, I've been a diehard master swimmer. I swam at almost every single national championship. But that brings us to right now, which is a pretty important point for master swimming, in my opinion. And I'll give full disclosure. I am a founder of Flex. Flex is a technology startup. We sell swimming products that help with data analysis for swimmers. Right. So
hold on, Ryan. Beth,
go ahead.
Put up the website. I want to pimp some Ryan Rosenbaum and Flex for sure.
Yeah, Ryan, shouldn't you flex while you're doing that? There you go.
Yes, there we go. No, I want to. And by the way, after you talk about that, it's pretty cool technology. I want you to tell us about that real quick. But anyway, all right, go ahead with what we're talking about.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So here's my main thing, and I am not super in the know about USA Swimming stuff, so I would actually be really interested in hearing about your take on what's going on, because from what I understand of what USA Swimming is doing, they've done a pretty good job of trying to figure out what the short to medium term is going to look like for competitive swimming, meaning giving a little bit more power towards the LSCs, doing a little bit more localized meets that are focused on having less swimmers there, but you're still keeping the ability to hold fair competition. So this is what master swimming is doing, and I strongly disagree with it. I put out a bunch of tweets to master swimming, calling them out directly, and I have yet to hear a single word from anyone, administration, even their social media people. I mean, as someone who pays dues with master swimming, as someone who's a current national champion from master swimming, I find it pretty disrespectful. But so here's the point. Masters swimming has had the opportunity for the last, how long has lockdown been going on for?
March 13th for us.
There you go. 5 or 6 months. They've had the same amount of opportunity that all the big organizing bodies have had to figure out a way to still have some level of competition in August, right? Everybody wants their August meets. And you have people like the Boston Marathon for runners, where they're doing their stuff virtually, but it's very guided. You have to use it on these different things, all that kind of stuff. So what Masters Swimming has decided to do is they're holding a virtual championship. And from what I can tell, they've broken a ton of bylaws, but the main thing would basically be that they have
Mark's like, what? All right, go ahead. Continue, Ryan. It's awesome.
Well, first off, just to mention, one of their main bylaws is that if you're having a competition where multiple swimmers are not in the same location, it has to be competed upon within 10 days of each other. And just yesterday, they decided to extend their virtual national championship into the end of August. So that brings it at something like 20 days or something like that, 15 days. That's a broken law. But basically, here's the deal. Masters Swimming has a exclusive partner, which is swim.com. Swim.com is also closely related to Swim Outlet, right? I have no ill will towards swim.com. I think they have a fine product. There are plenty of players in the market that also have similar fine products. But what Masters Swimming decided to do is take their partner and make them the exclusive dealer of a national championship. So they have the precedent set where they have other events, e-postal swims, that kind of stuff, where they have the internal infrastructure where you can report times manually or from a team straight to Masters Swimming. But what they've decided to do with this virtual championship is that you have to download this company's app, create an account on this company's app, either record your swim or manually input your swim into this company's app. And that's the only way that you can compete for Masters Swimming. So for me to take part in a national championship, I have to go to a third-party organization that's paid money to Masters Swimming, basically to just have an opportunity to create more users of their product. Now, I can totally understand with my preface that I am involved in the technology industry. I think that while it can be seen as bias at first, I'm first and foremost a swimmer. And I think I have a unique perspective being in the swimming tech world to be able to speak to this. So let me just rattle off a few things from my tweet. 48% of the age distribution of Masters Swimming is 50 years old or above, right? The event participation metrics for Masters Swimming is 70 and above age is by far the highest participation in these national championships. The second highest is 50 to 69.
You mean of registered athletes that age in the nation?
Registered U.S. Masters swimmers. Yeah, people like
you're right. If I'm
5-year-olds
registering at age 70, I'm going to nationals because it might be my last. And I'm only 2 years away.
And you're a world record holder.
Maybe your last is from the 2 fly. We'll bring you down to the 100 next year.
Actually, I would love to see the 2
Hey,
fly.
I'm just kidding. I want to swim in Masters when I'm 100. I really do. I love Masters swimming, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Let's do a relay. Continue on the stats. So the last stat that I think is really important, and this has a lot to do with my business, and that's how I'm pretty in the know of it, is that Pew Research does a lot of research around digital literacy. And obviously it's an issue where technology continues to innovate at an enormous rate. And the older demographics have a difficult time taking advantage of technology. So 77% of people aged 50 and older have indicated to Pew Research that they would need someone to help them just to use social media. So why is the Masters Swimming governing body, whose predominant age group is 50 and above, and vastly predominant competing age group is 70 and above, making something like an app where you have to own a smartwatch, compete with the app, or manually enter it, link your account to Masters Swimming, all that kind of stuff. The last point that I'll make is that just through our product development and everything, we did have to deal with a lot of smartwatches and dealing with all that kind of stuff. There are some horrible inaccuracies with smartwatches in swimming. And that's not to say that it's an issue to use it. I think everyone has every right to use it, but you wouldn't want the Olympics to be held with someone's Garmin. You want to have time, right?
I get a lot more meters in. Like I get, oh man, my health insurance people think I'm like swimming twice.
No, I have a few swimmers that have a smartwatch and they go, oh, I burned 897 calories. I'm like, in warm up, you know, so it's like so dumb. I'm like, what do you mean 800? Okay, give me a break.
When we initially started Flex, we did a lot of data analysis around what the watches provided versus the truth data. And just purely going into a workout, let's say I did 10 100s as my main set, but overall the workout was 3,000 yards. Oftentimes there was about a 30% inaccuracy in that distance tracking. Distance tracking, something that should be very easy. So let's bring that whole thing back to just a little scenario, right? If I were to want to participate in the national championship for Masters Swimming virtually, I could wear their watch, I could do a 200 breaststroke, and I could have finished it, gone a best time. I'm in great shape right now. I could look at my watch and it could say 125 yards, but it would be like a 2 minute something. I'm not quite understanding where the decisions from Masters Swimming and the governing body have come from to make these decisions.
Have you called up any of the board members?
I've emailed and I've tweeted, and I have heard zero.
Okay, who is your local? Who does Marty say you should talk to? Because he's been there a long time.
So this is another interesting point about the entire virtual championship is that Marty Hendricks is the head coach, longtime head coach of Swim Fort Lauderdale Masters. Swim Fort Lauderdale Masters has always been in the top 10 of Masters teams in the nation and
one of my best friends moved down here just for that team. She bought a condo, Cecilia McCluskey, just so she could swim for Marty. And people do that, you know? They love Marty. He's the best.
So Marty's the head coach of a team that has 5 national championships in recent memory. Marty didn't hear a word about this virtual championship. What? Why would you not go to one of the highest performing teams and at least give them a head up? Hey,
days in Georgia Masters, right? We got to get her.
All right, time out. We're not going to get to answer this because Bess has the 60 thing going. All right, so we got the 60. All right, so listen, Ryan.
Yeah,
Ryan.
Got to be an answer. Got to be an answer.
We need to move right along because I think this is a big deal. So, Masters
I'm
swimming.
Tell you what we're going to do, Joe. I got the solution. Last 60. Hey, Rosenbaum. Jeff Michelby and I are going to be running a show on Swim Monkey about Masters swimming. He doesn't know it yet, and if he's not ready to start, you be my partner. Okay, you and I will start it, and we're going to start with this issue, and we're going to have it on Swim Monkey. We're going to have a Masters swimming show every week, and you and I will announce it within, let's say, 7 days. Okay.
I'm into it.
All right.
Okay.
Ryan and I will run it. Master Swimming Show on the Monkey. Stay tuned. You heard it live. Breaking news. That's it. We're in.
Right. It's 7:27 on Wednesday Eastern time.
Follow the money. That's what I got to say.
Follow the money.
Follow the money.
You're right. You're right.
Well, I just got one thing.
Iowa should have sold their timing rights to swim.com. They'd still have a swim team.
But you know what's weird? Even if Iowa had Iowa swimming had $500,000 in the bank and had this big swim.com app and whatever going, do you think they would have it? I think they would still I think they still would have been canned. It's just I don't know. Anyway, Ryan,
probably right.
Ryan, I got this for you. So just once. So you mean to tell me, and then we'll let you go because Bess is like saying, let's go. All right. So
sorry, Bess.
No, it's good. It's good. Listen, we love you, Ryan. Listen. So you said they extended the national virtual meeting. So you mean to tell me Sid can jump in, break your world record, right? Or not break your world record. Damn, I was close.
But if my Garmin says I broke it, I broke it.
And then get in 4 days later and try it again, and then get in 4 days later and try it again. So basically, have like as many shots as you want for this world record. Is that correct?
Basically, yeah. I mean, my main point is just that we're degrading the legitimacy of a national championship by doing these kinds of things. And if at all we can hear from administrators about where these decisions were made, then that can rest me a little bit easier. But I've seen nothing. I've looked through board meeting minutes. I've looked through everything. I've heard nothing from Masters Swimming. So the ball's in their court. Looking forward to it.
Ryan, so
we're on it. Investigative team, Swim Monkey investigative team on it.
All right, we've aired it. Thanks for joining us, and
thank you for having me.
We'll be watching that Master Show.
And Mark's on it too because he's ready for the half-hour toast. Here we are.
Half-hour toast.
Okay, Ryan, good to have you. It's kind of loud at the garage bar here. I will get, and I'm dead serious about this Masters shows. We're going to get. I'll tell you, Joe, that's going to be our best show because Masters are passionate people.
They got big money. They call them BM for short. All right, Ryan, we'll see you later. All right, so guys, it's kind of weird, master swimming. Everybody's got issues, and everybody, as my buddy Charlie Rose says, is kicking the can down the road. And I think that's everybody. I think that's, I hate to say it, USA Swimming. I think it's NCAA. I think it's our local LSCs. I mean, they're just kicking the can down the road, and our school boards. So it's tough because things change weekly. So, it's rough, and I don't know what to do if I was in charge of master swimming. It'd be tough. So anyway, let's get back to what we were talking about.
Right. We had a question in the very beginning, the cancellation of the collegiate swim and dive programs. Number 2, Central Florida YMCA, canceling competitive swim, dive, and other aquatics. Joe, I know you've got some intel. My understanding is that facility has been purchased. What can you tell us in Orlando?
So Harris Rosen, this is just what I've heard. I mean, we live not far from there. So he is going to open that thing in December. So I'm sure, he's probably going to rent it out to everyone or not. But I see him doing this, and I don't know if the Y's can be involved. I doubt it. But I mean, he has the power to go, let's have a swim team or not, right? Or he's totally fine with, hey, let's just rent it out to USA Swimming and Florida swimming meets, Florida teams for swim meets and diving events and synchro events and underwater hockey, what Lucky does, and just all the things that go on in a pool, but shutting it down for 4 days a week if he wants to, so that's kind of a luxury that he has. I think that his vision, and the dude's 80 something, but I think he still has a vision where he is right across from the wheel, right? The eye of Florida, whatever. So you know what? Tear down those 2 hotels in front, put a boutique, nice hotel with an aquatic theme and right next to the building. So when you're walking into this grand lobby area, you walk into you see the pool, you walk in, and all of a sudden it's one piece instead of, pieces all over. So I think he'll do that.
So I do too. I truly believe in Harris Rosen. Yuko Matsuzaki is a great friend of mine. She's one of Japan's best ever marathon swimmer, if not number one for at least long distance. She's been working for him for decades.
She's going to hook us up.
She loves us and she loves Harris. And what Harris has done for the sport, he obviously loves the sport. Nothing but good things. And hopefully economy and everything comes back. Joe, he could do that. They could have the current pool be the warm-up pool and build an unbelievable thing. If he really follows through and leaves it all like in his name to swimming, I tell you, that's the kind of benefactor that not just USA Swimming, but Master Swimming. He's a big Master Swimming. And it would really, because we need an elite world-class facility at sea level somewhere that the national team could go to and have a hotel right next door. And it would
especially,
great idea by Best, bring an ISL team.
Why not?
There.
Yeah.
I think
go
certainly
ahead.
they could fill it up with training and meets, training camps and meets for teams and international teams and that type of thing. If it's not viable, I mean, I know I worked there, it was 20 years ago now, but at times, during the high tourist season, it's tough for families to get there for practice. But I mean, it could be a great event venue and training camp venue for those folks, and it might be viable. And I think Harris has been such a great supporter of the sport, as you've all pointed out. And we need to find, there are Harris Rosens all over the country in different communities, maybe not at his financial level, but that's what teams and universities and facilities, we need to identify those people and get them excited about the sport of swimming and the value that it brings to a community.
Oh, yeah. And also there's lots of hotels around there where we're never going to be empty on hotels. If we have an ISL meet, professional meet, or we have these huge meets, we're never going to run out of hotel space because there's tons.
Joe, can I ask a question?
Hit me.
Don't they gamble on ISL meets? I'm just asking.
I am probably 100% sure that they gamble.
Yes,
They gambled on Caleb versus whoever that other dude was. I mean, come on.
So look, if we can make money and save the sport, let's I know people think gambling is one of the vices. It'll lead down the bad road, but I like.
All right,
I remember Joe. This is more for stories, but Mark, you'll like this. I remember coaches betting. I'm in 1975, sitting in the stands watching nationals, and coaches betting on events, against other coaches. And I'm just sitting there as a swimmer watching my coach bet against another and they were like, it's so exciting, because you put a little piece on a race. I know this guy's going to be good at night. And if we get into a professional league, if we have a team in Orlando that's an ISL, or look at the DC team or whoever, absolutely Vegas and the legalized gambling places. You look at the kids in the future. They don't have to get addicted to throw a few bucks here and there and try it. It can be fun. It can be great fun.
And right. There's a lot of swimmers. It's like highlight, man. Oh, hey, there's Sid. I'm going to throw a few bones at Sid. Anyway, so we're talking about pools real quick. I did also hear that they broke ground on that huge facility in Ocala that's got 50-meter pools, major space. Very, very nice, very up-to-date stuff. So they just broke ground on that, and that's in Ocala, which I'm assuming that Gainesville is going to try to grab some of that time, I'm sure. So anyway, just an update for you boys.
Bill Vargo, Ocala is the new Orlando.
It is. I'm telling you, there's going to be big meets at that complex. I mean, that thing is
beautiful. Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
And it's out in the country, so we get to go ride some horses. All right, let's get some more questions here.
It's horse country. They'll be ready for gambling there, Sid.
Yeah, you're right. We're used to gambling in Ocala. And I do think, and I credit USA Swimming, like moving towards those kind of, like having the VIP and bringing the alums back and all that. I really think that it's an opportunity for us to look, coming out of this whole COVID pandemic thing. What do we want it to look like in the future? Where are we going to be? Some of the things we can do. And I think to create interest, you got Caleb Dressel, hopefully for another 6 or 8 years, who knows? But he's somebody you can build on. You need names, you need stars, you need people that people can, all right, yeah, I'm with you, Ryan. I'm not doing any 200. For my 100th birthday, I'm in the 50 free. I was never a butterflyer, but
that's a long way when you're 100. That's a long way when you're 100.
50-meter freestyle at age 100 is my goal at nationals. And that's where we are. And I do think, Joe, we are. Mark, you got the right idea. Such a great sport. Like, we can do it till we're 100. The kids that are, preschool are swimming. It's learned to swim right into competitive. And there's so much fun. Ryan talked about having fun. He had the pressure of Florida. He didn't even swim his 4th year. It was so much pressure. He swam on a club team. He said, oh, this is fun. Maybe I'll try Masters. Pretty damn good Masters swimmer,
He's awesome. All right, we got to move on and get some questions here. I got people chiming in, and if you're just joining us, ask us some questions in the chat, or come on with us. The link is also in the chat. You can come and go face to face with us and ask the panel. All right, Angela says, "What are your thoughts? Do you think that NCAA should take the championship meet away from Iowa? Iowa just lost their program." And it's a nice pool. It's a nice pool. Do you think that they should take it away? My answer is hell yes.
I'm thinking Iowa already said, and we won't do it. I don't know. Did they back out already? I thought they already said no.
Oh, I don't know. I hadn't heard that. I think it was supposed to be there this spring, and that's why they didn't cancel the. Henshaw says yes. Oh, I don't know.
No, he's saying yes, they should, I think, but
I think it's a tough one, but and I know we've hosted, when I was with USA Swimming, we hosted some regional coaches clinics at colleges that didn't have teams and caught some flack for that, and I understand that, and I think it'd be great for the NCAA as an organization to put some pressure on Iowa and at least open that discussion, because it doesn't seem to me to make a whole lot of sense to be hosting it at a university that's decided not to support the sport and allow them to host the championship, right?
You're out, dude. You're out. They need to go. That needs to move on. And I don't know what the next place would be, but there's plenty of locations that, Texas would love to have it, I'm sure, but there's plenty of others.
Katie Way.
No, not Katie Way. Katie Way would be Katie Way. We could start on a shallow end and do the 1950 starts, so it's remember those? Do the 1950 style starts, but
Katie Way.
So let's move on. We've got another question here. I'm concerned about the long-term ramifications of ISL buying talent out. Our swimmers entering an NCAA, going pro, early long-term loss of American advantage in the sport. Ukrainian who funds its basis energy standard and future European dominance. Do you agree?
No, I don't. I am not afraid at all. I think I am of the ilk that the more the merrier. The more people want to put money into swimming, better for all of us. I remember when George Haynes was the first $100,000 a year coach back in the I was just out of college, 79, 80, 81, Foxcatcher. If you got people that want to put money into swimming, I don't care if it's coming from oil or fracking or whatever is politically incorrect. If they want to put money into us in swimming, let's take it. And if we can get a pro league going and we can get these kids an opportunity to swim a few more years, maybe they're going to grad school. I watched the David Oliva thing on Wowza today. It was awesome. It was about him swimming as a professional while he was becoming a doctor. David Oliva swam for like Northern Virginia Fun and Fitness. You know, he swam for John Flanagan. He swam for Holger Dietz at Starlet. He got his way paid through grad school because he was making money on the pro marathon circuit. We should have more professional swimming. We should have the sprint swimmers. If we can have this kind of a league, the ISL should generate other. We could have local leagues. You could have like baseball has AA, AAA, single A. Can you imagine your local leagues like a summer league? Say, hey, maybe I'll make it up to the next level. If there's people willing to put money in the sport, I'm open to it. That's my opinion.
Mark?
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw a lot of positive things come out of the ISL. We didn't really get to see what the impact was on performance at trials or the Olympics due to the pandemic. And I know there was concern about what that effect would be with the athletes maybe over racing last fall and not putting in maybe as many training hours. But I think our athletes are smart, our coaches are smart. In terms of whether the U.S. stays dominant, that's going to be up to our coaches. We've got the best coaches. We've got the best facilities. We've got lots of great athletes. And it's just about making sure we focus on getting better, right? I think it's all about getting better. The baseball players, football players don't focus on staying the same every year. They're focused on getting better. I think the true professional athletes are going to take advantage of this opportunity and work to get better to enhance their value. And so I don't see as many negative ramifications. It's too early to really make any judgment on it. But I think we did see a buzz about it, and I think there's a lot of potential there. It's just way different than anything we've done.
And you know what? It's way better because they have the lights, they have the stuff. I mean, if they're making swimming exciting, if you did not watch swimming ever, you would put it on and maybe want to, something that would cure insomnia like golf and baseball, people would put on swimming, right?
Marathon swimming, long distance would just go.
Marathon swimming, and then a guy
you gotta make it exciting. And that's what professionalism does. You know, in the Canadian races of the 50s and 60s, they brought all the pizzazz, big party, all of us. We're in parades, we're having fun, people drinking beer, O'Keefe beer. But now we look at swimming, make it fun for the spectators, but fun for the athletes to still stick around. I talked to Leah Smith. She was talking, the ISL thing is so much fun for those kids. They love this stuff. It gives them great joy to be able to extend their career. So I think professional swimming, forget the NCAA. But if we can align with those colleges and have our own, like we'll have the International League, then let's have the National Swim League. We'll be the NSL. Hey, the three of us could run it. You know what? Let's make some money while we're doing it. Right?
Yeah, I'm looking for a job. So
okay, Mark, you're the director of the NSL. You've just gotten appointed. We're going to run this thing, and every college can have a pro team. You know, you can even bring a mermaid on your team if you want. You could bring in the most beautiful mermaid and say, all right, you want to kick 20K this week? You want to try and, how many miles is 20K? I don't know. I'm an American.
Wait, before we get to the mermaid and how you doing, Merle? Hold on. So 2 points on ISL. Okay.
All right.
They have a lot of kids on it. They can rotate them in and out, right? Let's say a kid can't make a certain meet or coaches are working on it. They can rotate them in and out. There's a lot, at least the way it seemed when they ran it the first year. Second one is we just spoke with Sheridan Dressel and we just spoke with who else do we speak with? Sid, that just got picked up by the Condors. Okay. So they are pumped because they are on a pro team now. Okay. And I think that's important. Like you're saying, they can do something after college and it's fun. They put in 1 million yards in their lifetime. It's the hardest freaking sport there is. And now it's time for fun. So I think it's great stuff.
Yep. And if we have the International League, we could have a National League and we could get tied in with school. We'll work on that, Mark, to get you that job going. But come on, I got to turn it over here to Merle. Merle the Mermaid. What is you kicked? Now, for the people that don't know, and there's a lot of links, I think we can put one up. See some of the highlight. All for the sake, all for the sake of trying to keep clean oceans, Joe, Mark. This beautiful young woman kicked 20,000 meters down here in the warm Florida Atlantic Ocean off of Miami Beach. Merle, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, we're talking about fun stuff. Let's make swimming more fun. Let's set some crazy new records, crazy new examples. And I already get asked if FINA Open Water wants to consider mermaid monofin 1K on the races.
How far?
1K. Just started with the 1K.
1K.
Well, they have all those monofin races that they do that are not recognized by FINA, but are unbelievable athletes going incredibly fast. Where they go 50 meters in like 7, 8, 9 seconds or something.
It's ridiculous. It's so fast. It's fast.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, but they swim it with a little bit different fin. What I was using, mine is 100% silicone, so it doesn't have that much benefit when you kick. It's a little bit slowing down compared to the fin swimmers who have the fiberglass. Oh. And there is a little difference between mermaid fin and fin swimming fin.
All right, let everybody know who's watching what the heck you just did this weekend, and then I want to also ask you something about, why sharks and big fish don't look at you and go, I think I can catch that, because it looks like a fish, But anyway, tell us about what you did.
So on Thursday, on August 20th, I swam 20 kilometers with my mermaid monofin without using arms, meaning that I didn't do any freestyle stroke, any breaststroke, any butterfly, any backstroke stroke. I just kept arms on the front and then arms on the side and just kicking dolphin mermaid kick all the way. And it took me 6 hours and 8 minutes. By tracker, my 20K time was 5 hours and 54, but I got lost there and that's 660 meters coming back. So, but it goes A to B goes as a 6 hours, 8 minutes and 10 seconds.
What's another 600 meters among friends, 800 meters? Okay. If you're going to go and kick that far, Merle, you did it for some very, very positive reasons. There's a picture of you and your fin. Oh, okay. Now tell us, you were for Clean Oceans. And what other charity? What's the main charity you're working for?
I'm not working for anybody. I did that for Mother Earth. I'm working for Mother Earth. But I was also.
I like Mother Earth. I like Mother Earth.
Yeah.
I was actually doing that to raise awareness for our oceans. Our oceans are warm, polluted, sadly, pretty often with trash, microplastic, and lately Key Biscayne have been destroyed with toxins, and I partnered up with Miami Waterkeeper and Art Sale to bring awareness for our oceans, because I really feel like during the lockdown we didn't have pools to swim. Everybody went to kind of open water, and I really feel like if that will be taken away too, because it's too polluted or full of toxins and trash, then where are we gonna swim? What is our, option C? So I really wanted to bring awareness for our oceans and waters.
Sid, you're an open water guy, so the oceans are getting pretty nasty. So what the heck are we going to do? I mean, we need to?
Well, I tell you what, it's young people like Merle here that got it right. I just saw a note from Sandy Pickering Drake, who's trying to keep the ocean clean out in Hawaii. It's people's awareness all over the world. And Merle did this. I knew you weren't working for any charity, but I also believe, because I've watched this young woman compete in the FINA World Championships for Estonia in the 10K. She also is a pretty good breaststroke swimmer. I was like, wait, aren't you a sprint? Wait, you want to do the 10K? She's a phenomenal, forward-thinking young person that we have to rely on, Joe. Us older guys, Mark, you know how we, like those of us with little gray hair, like we know we're going to be here to clean up 50, 60, 70 years from now. But things like this that this young woman's doing are a step in the right direction, because first you got to bring awareness. And like Mark said, you can sign all the petitions you want, but until you do some action, well, I think going 20K kicking is some pretty good action.
Good. It is pretty good. Speaking of that, and Merle, thank you very much. That was awesome, and congratulations. And come on anytime you want. Thanks for coming in. All right, so Sid, Mark, you threw up something about open water swimming, a virtual event or something. What did you?
That was what Sid was talking about. The virtual
open water
virtual open water summit that Bryce Elser and Caitlin Palowitz and our open water folks from the national team are putting on to kind of raise awareness and understanding of open water. As Sid has evidence for us, a lot of teams are taking to open water, whether it's the ocean down in your area or the lakes and ponds up in the Midwest and the New England, mid-Atlantic areas, because they don't have access to pools. And so we want to, or USA Swimming, I think, wants to raise the level of knowledge of coaches on how to train effectively in open water and safely in open water. And that's what this summit's all about. I've signed up to be a participant in it. I'm excited about learning more about it, because that's probably one of the weakest areas in my coaching toolbox is the open water segment.
Well, it's funny because Bryce said to me today, I'm talking about Bryce Elser again, who's the director out there in Colorado Springs. He said, Sid, you remember when Dave Durden came to nationals? I don't know if it was in Miami. It might have been the year before, but it might have been Arizona. But anyway, he came up to Bryce. He's like, I don't really know what to do. And Bryce went back and he got his brain ticking, and he was like, we got to get some of our very best coaches, our Olympic team coaches, don't know much about open water. And this is an opportunity. And as I understand it, even if you can't join it live, but you should sign up and try and get in. Because it's going to be fantastic. It is going to be available later, because I know a lot of coaches have different schedules, and it is geared towards coaches. This isn't an all-comers, I'm a Masters marathon guy. No. This is for USA Swimming coaches. And, I guess the foreigners, if you want to learn, you better talk to Bryce and see if you're allowed. We usually share quite a bit here in the USA, which is one of the things I think that, people have differing feelings on. And Mark, out at USA Swimming, I know growing up through the years, the American Swimming Coaches Association, the International Swimming Hall of Fame, we're always talking about the American, but we shared everything. All the American college programs would bring in the foreign coaches as volunteer assistants, grad assistants. We'd bring in the foreign athletes as just students, would study. And then many of them stayed here. Some of the best guys, some of my closest friends now, who were former swimmers, were international swimmers for me at University of Miami. So I love the international scene. I've never been one to say, let's just hide our secrets. And I think it's important. I think it's been a big part of our success. And that's why, I love to see this opportunity in open water, because I do believe, I'm sorry, I missed that whole thing with Sandy, but I do believe we're going down the right path with sharing. Bob Matson said, Joe, all that is not shared is lost.
I agree with that 100%. And listen, we got about 5 minutes left. So any of you guys that are watching have questions, last minute questions, put them up. I got a couple of things here. Open water swimming worldwide. You hear the heartbeat, Sid, worldwide. Mark, you probably do too, on open water. So do we have a minute update on anything open water for the world? Is there anything going on, or is there anything we should worry about?
I tell you what, if you're out in Vegas or you're anywhere close to that LSC, I think there's a bunch of boarding in October. Ron Aitken's going to run an unbelievable swim in the middle of October out there in Vegas. I've seen some of the plans of it, and I wish we were allowed to fly there, because I'd take 4 or 5 of our best open water kids and go to Vegas. Well, actually, if USA Swimming changes the rules October 1, maybe we'll fly out. But that's coming up. And also, just stay tuned, because there's in 2022, we're trying to move to some different things, encourage kids. We're really trying to coordinate our elite and also our grassroots, where the kids in the pool, grassroots, also swim open water, and build that all the way up. So that's what I got on it.
That's awesome. All right. So I have another thing, and this is this is a little beef of mine, and it's about the US Open. Okay. First of all, it's about the Tier Pro Series. And I know Marcus was looking up something for us, but the tier meets, at least for this fall, went to, and I think we talked about this last time, went to Olympic trial cuts. So anybody that's within 1, 2, 3, 4 tenths, 5 tenths away can't get the time, right? And that's for their first one. Okay. Now the US Open, they have not met yet. I know that they met in committee meetings, but I don't think they made a decision on those cuts yet. And Mark, I don't know if you found anything in the last hour on that.
I don't have any specific information about what the ruling is, just that it will be coming out next week. So first week in September. So maybe by the time the show's on next week, there'll be some information about those cuts. But I wasn't able to get any official word on where those cuts will be. I think, the key thing we all have to remember is that the cuts are going to be driven by how many athletes the facilities are going to allow in. I mean, and unfortunately, we're still in a situation where that's going to be the determining factor. And so maybe the answer is have more top level meets spread out around the country. I don't know if that's being discussed, but certainly that would be a better option to get some of those kids that are in that very close range of making trials cuts, those opportunities to race, instead of just allowing the elite athletes to swim.
I agree with that.
Obviously, from USA Swimming's standpoint, I think sponsoring these national level competitions, they're going to focus on what's going to benefit the potential Olympic team for next year as a priority right now. But I think looking at there be an expansion of those type of meets, or maybe by December, January and on, we'll be in a point where people are going to be able to travel, and we'll be able to have those regional type meets where folks are going to be able to get to safely, and the numbers of athletes will be something that will be safe.
And I know you want to say something, Sid. Hold on, let me just give my 2 cents, and we're probably gonna have to go 3 or 4 minutes over. No. So Mark, I like your idea about having more meets. I think that's a great idea, right? Smaller meets, but make sure they're really big. Maybe it's in the same venue 3 weekends in a row or something. I don't know, but then you can keep the wall up, the whole cool factor. Kids get wowed and all the stuff. That's pretty cool. But also, I was talking with a few other coaches this past weekend, and we were talking about how to space out like a US Open, right? Or space out a tier meet, where start the meet at 8, bring the 100 freestylers in, and you space it out enough where, yes, I'm sorry, we're going to have a meet all day. Okay, I'm sorry. It's what it's going to be, but we're going to spread it out all day, and it's going to be an hour and a half apart per event or something, where it's spaces where we can get, let's say 100 people are allowed on deck or 200 are allowed on deck in some of these large facilities, and then just rotate it in and out. It's a constant rotation all day, and do something like that, or add a day, to spread it out even more. Don't know.
Yeah, no, and I think those are all possibilities. And I would encourage people that have ideas like that, reach out to Lindsay Mintenko, Joel Schienefield, Dean Ekron, the USA Swimming Director of Events, with those ideas and suggestions. A lot of it is always going to be dependent on access to the facilities and what the facilities are willing to do. But I think we need that kind of outside the box thinking right now for our sport. How can we, find ways to do things better than we've ever done before, and make it continue to increase accessibility at every level, through the sport.
Sid, I know you were getting ready to jump on something. What were you getting ready to say?
Joe, I really, first of all, I want to thank Mark for becoming a permanent member of our staff for open mic night, because Mark, and you and I know, we go back to when we were almost teenagers, and it's very, very special knowing your forte. You understand problem solving, and that's a big part of what we want to do. So I believe that we have an opportunity here coming out of this pandemic to change a lot of things. There's people marching for equality, and I'm all for it and everything along the way. But I'm looking at swimming, and I'm looking at what we can do. Where are we today? How can we come out of this mess and be better? How can we be stronger? What lessons can we learn? And we've already learned a lot. Just us communicating here like this, and then throwing it into the cans, so to speak, so that, the guy who's still coaching his age groupers till 8 o'clock tonight can go and read it tomorrow, or watch it, while he's relaxing and doing his workout on the jogging track or whatever. But the reality is, we've got one of the best sports in the world, and all of aquatic sports are strong. And we need to band together and stay together and be patient and understand that we don't know what it's going to look like. It's going to be different. But if we work together and we figure out the best ways to make it work, we're going to get to the other side. And that's how I want to leave it tonight, Joe. I love this forum that Swim Monkeys created for all of us. And I want to thank you and Bess, Joe, because without you two, and I really believe it's a special opportunity when we have Mark and the open mic. But I'm just very thankful that, I came off the beach tonight in Boca Raton. Beautiful, unbelievable beach practice. I'm walking off. I'm going through it's like foliage, all these beautiful plants. And I'm like, man, here I am, 63 years old. I'm walking up there. I love open water. I just got our last 30 minutes was all body surfing because the surf was good. We did. And I'm like, I'm blessed. Our sport is blessed. We are all blessed to be aquatic members of this family. So thanks, Joe. Thanks, Mark, for tonight.
Yeah, and I'm super pumped. Mark's got something coming down the road, but I can't tell you yet because I'm not allowed to tell you yet. But there is something coming down the road. But anyway, I think that you're absolutely right, Sid. It's an awesome sport. It's the hardest sport. It gives you a lot of discipline later in life, and I think it's just super, super important. And Mark just put up something just now. So there you go. I do think that we do, as coaches, have a job to let our people at USA Swimming know the ideas and things that we want to do. It's cool to talk with you guys on the weekend and throw around ideas, but we do need to let USA Swimming know. And there's a lot of coaches out there that would easily chime in. So Mark, thanks for that. And also, for me, and I know Mark will give you the last words, but Mike Curley there, Coach Mike Curley, Highlander Aquatics, he said it best there, quality. There's a lot of stuff going on in this crazy world, and we just need to be a good listener. And that's even the kids in the pool. I mean, it's all the way around. So there's Mike Curley right there, and you know, awesome to see. All right, Mark.
Great, thanks, and thanks for guys for having me on, and thanks everybody for participating. A lot of great questions and discussions. I can't wait for the Masters show. Sid. That could be interesting. Yeah, I think you know, the big message that I've taken out of this whole pandemic from my time with USA Swimming and even since then is that we're going to get through this as a sport through collaboration, cooperation, and communication, whether that's in our team, in our LSC, or in our region, or just through the sport overall. And that's what we need to do is work together. And as you said, Joe, these great ideas that everybody has, and we spitball, you know, over a couple beers or over a, you know, over the phone or over text, those need to get out there to the people that are going to take action on them. If they don't know what those ideas are, there's no way for any action to be taken. So reach out. You know, I'm glad to be a conduit. If people, good point, best innovation, super important as well. I'm glad to be a conduit if people aren't comfortable reaching out directly to USA Swimming, but I'll tell you that everybody there will respond to you. You know, whether you email them or call them, they'll get back to you on your idea. I can't promise every idea will see the light of day in actuality, but they'll listen, and that's what we all need to do, as Coach Curley said. Listen.
That's awesome. Well, listen, guys, thanks everyone who joined us tonight. We've got a long list of shows coming down the road. We've got one every day through Monday night now through Sid's show. So check us often on YouTube and Florida Swim Network and Swimmer Joe and Sid's channel, all of our things on social media. And love having you guys. We will change swimming right here on the Monkey, Sid and Mark. So for all of us here, we will see you next time on the Monkey.
Love you guys.
Have a great week.
Join us on the Swim Monkey.
Swim
Swim Monkey.
Monkey TV. On the Monkey.